Before we go to the downstairs system, this is the state of the upstairs system. Not much to look at. I was going to do all kind of experiments here, but for those of you who are new, there is a reason I cannot do that. Here's a little recap. And that noise will be going on for months to come. So what I can do upstairs here, what I'm doing now, is taking pictures of all my equipment that I can use in my videos. So this is the Yoshino 864. This is the rear of my preamp. As you can see, it has 3 outputs, line out, RCA, XLR. It has a bunch of inputs, also one XLR input, and it has a wonderful phono stage. Now I would like to use the XLR output, but unfortunately my power amp does not have XLR inputs. But I may have a use for these XLR outputs. And in today's video I will explain what that usage may be. So let's get into the video, but first let's make some coffee. And as you can see, everything is a mess again. This thing rolled forward, all kind of stuff on the floor and over there. So the first project is done, the big rack. You have seen that in last week's video. And now I am doing some cable management behind this rack. As you can see, there's a lot of cables everywhere. And over here what I have done, or what I am doing, is have these cable guides put on the wall and put some cables in there in order for it to make it a bit more neat. Now these things, these cabinets, I have my turntable on here, and normally it stands too far under this board, so I cannot lift the lid from that, so I have to roll it forward and then backward again. And when there's too many cables on the floor, like here, every now and then it would roll over the cables. So I'm trying to create an environment where that is not possible. I am already having some progress on this side. and there is something to do on that side. I already actually did a lot because it was much worse. And what I'm going to do here is to have my headphone setup. So STAX over here, STAX over there. I've not told you about this one, but that will be on a later date. And the reason that I wanted to have my headphones over here, because it is closest to the chair that I'm sitting in. Now I used to have the STAX over there where the quad CD player is, but it was too far away from my chair. So I'm trying to create a headphone setup over here, and that is what today's video is all about. So one of the problems that I have to solve is I have my headphone setup over here. So I have this STAX, which is with tubes. I have this STAX, which is solid state, and I have this headphone amplifier, also solid state. If I have these three over here, I also want to have a signal. Now I could just place one CD player over there and then be able to play CDs on my headphones, but of course I would like to have everything that is playing on this system to be able to put it into my headphone amplifier. So what I thought was to use the preamp, which, as I told you, has of course a headphone out, but it also has a preamp out. Actually 3 preamps out, so the 2 power amps that you see over there are already in use, so I have one left. Now what if I would put a cable from the preamp out into the STAX over here? That means I would have everything that is being played. I can also listen to it on my headphones, but that's only one of 3. So another thing that this STAX amplifier has on the rear is 2 sets of RCAs, one in and one out. So I can put the signal through to this STAX via the output of the other STAX. So that means with one cable, and the cable is lying over there, I can have all my sounds from the big system into my STAX tube or into this one. That means I only have to solve how to get this one also connected to sound. But, and I will tell you later about this, there is a reason that I'm not going to place this one over here. But that is what I'm doing now, putting that cable in between the preamp and this headphone amp. Okay, let's do a little test run. So I turned on the preamp, I turned on the SACD player, I connected this cable between the preamp and the STAX, as you can see over there, and then this one goes out and that goes into this STAX. Okay, so I have this SR40 headphone over here that is connected to this one. I have this STAX headphone over here that is connected over here. Now let's turn this thing on. So this is preheat. That is what it does. In order to start up this machine, you first preheat. And if it stops blinking, then you can turn the power on. Yeah, so now we turn the power on. And because these are tubes, I always give them a few minutes before I start putting music through them. So let's give it a minute. Okay, so this one is working. It gets its signal from the preamp, and because it is on the pre-out instead of the tape out, I have to adjust the volume on the preamp and then use the volume knob on the STAX headphone amplifier. I think that's okay, and maybe I could also put it on the tape out and have the signal go here, which would be fixed volume, but I prefer having the pre-out. But later when I get a third amplifier I might change it to tape out, but this is working. So let's turn on this one. This is how you turn it on. This is solid state, so no tubes in there, so it's probably ready to use. Let's give that one a try. And yes, this is also working. So getting one signal from there, whatever source I am using, I can put it through to the headphones, this one and this one. But what about power? So these two are not connected to the big power board down there. For that, and remember guys, this is a very small room. I am using my normal camera, which has not a very wide lens, but if we look in here, down here, there is two power bricks that I bought. This one has 8 inputs, 4 plus 4, and you can turn on and turn off each 4. Then over here I have the same one, and this has 16 outlets, and you can turn on off 8 of them. Now the reason for that, just like the other one over there, is that I would like to be able to turn everything off and on that I want. Now this is not for every outlet, but at the end of a session I can turn everything off, and that is what I wanted. So over here, this is for the next video, is the switch SCART switch for the TV and for the Laserdisc, the VHS and the DVD player that I have over here. Yes, this is a DVD player with a SCART out, so I can switch them over here, and the two STAXs are connected over here for power. Now there's one thing, for all those things in this room downstairs, I do not care for audiophile standards. I just want everything to be connected, and I want to be able to play everything without constantly switching cables. So that is what I'm doing over there. This one used to be up there, but I'm putting it over here in order to create space for a headphone amplifier. Probably not this one, maybe another one in the future. But what I was saying is that I don't care for audiophile standards, but for my STAX headphone I think it is a shame to not have a good power filter in front of them. So in the rear of this cabinet there is room for a power filter that could be plugged into this one, and then I have the two STAXs plugged into that one. So that's what I'm going to look out for in order to have a better experience for this STAX. This is something that I would love to have in the system upstairs, but well, it is not a convenient place to sit, and this, so close to my big chair, is a convenient spot. But for here I am going to try and improve on sound quality like an audiophile would. And then we have this headphone amplifier. I bought it because I thought, well, I will put it over here, so I have tubes and solid state, but this may be replaced by another one, and I will take you upstairs to explain why. Okay, so here is the Rupert Neve headphone amplifier that I picked up. It is a Rupert Neve design. Rupert Neve is well known in the recording world, maybe not so much in the audiophile world. So it is the RNHP Rupert Neve headphone. That is what is called the precision headphone amplifier, and was designed, intended for recording engineers to have a accurate listening to their mix or whatever they were doing. And when I started my headphone setup in the room downstairs, I came across this one on the second-hand market, and I decided to pick one up. And here it is. As you can see, it is not very big. There's not much to it. Front, sides, rear, sides. That's basically it. So what does it have here? A headphone input, just one. 3 inputs, XLR, RCA, jack, and a very solid volume knob. And on the rear, obviously we have the XLR input, the RCA input, the jack input, power, and an on-off switch, and that is it. Now the interesting part is that it has the XLR inputs. Now I don't have many pieces of equipment with XLR outputs. I have the Denefrips DA converter, and I have my preamplifier. And when trying out this thing in different settings, I found out that connecting this XLR to the preamp that I have, the Ear Yoshino 864, was a wonderful, wonderful sound. Even better than what I probably could create downstairs. So while listening, it became more and more obvious this thing is not going in the small system downstairs. This one is going in the big system upstairs. So as I showed you on my preamplifier, I have the XLR outputs, and when I connected those to the XLR inputs, listening through some of my headphones, I thought, well, this thing surely needs to be connected over here. So that is why this thing is not going in the system downstairs, it is in the system upstairs, and you will have to wait a little bit before that happens, because first I have to finish my room downstairs. And so we come to the end of this video. This is the end of project number 2 in this tiny listening room. Next week I have project number 3, which is the last project in this tiny room, and that is about the 2 surround sound setups that I have here, one for analog, one for digital. So stay tuned, give me a like, give me a subscribe, I would appreciate that very much, and I will see you in the next one.